Hello, Sim here. Well, there's been lots of information flying around the net about Black Ops 3 and there was a few little leaks just before the world reveal. And it's like, oh no, exosuits and what? Titanfall war running? Oh dear. And where's the World War II stuff we were hoping for? I thought this game was going to go back to its roots. Thankfully though, the jetpacks are just that, and I'll come back to that later. The most exciting news is that there will be a beta. Yes, we get our hands on the multiplayer beta, providing, of course, we pre-order the game. But this is still exciting for gamers, as if you don't like it, well, you can always cancel. Thus, it is a bit of a risk for Treyarch and Activision. But Treyarch did do this 7 years ago with World at War. The beta is only for next gen, or should I say current gen. In other words, the PS4, Xbox One and PC. I expect it to be available 1 to 2 months prior to launch for about 2 weeks of fun. So, does this mean dedicated servers are coming into the mix? I mean, will we get some proper dedicated servers where they get the loading right, so that they stay responsive without their load fluctuating because they're overloaded, giving a less than ideal experience? In other words, lag, due to underpowered servers and lack of supporting network infrastructure, think switches and routers. So, what we do know is that Dedies, or should I say dedicated servers, have been confirmed for League play. Yay. So, some other good news is that there will be no advanced warfare style of skill-based matchmaking. I think most people hate this, I know I do. However, with Black Ops 3 there will still be a skill-based matchmaking system, but it's the toned down version that was in Black Ops 2, or should I say, the version that it ended up using at the end of the day. So that's goodness, as it wasn't so prevalent. You tended to always have enjoyable games and not be matched up against tryhards every game, and have unbalanced teams every game, especially if you're gaming solo. So, League play, or should I say ranked play, is where the seriously competitive gamers should ideally stay. You know, if you're getting serious, that's what you want. That's not to say I'm against clan wars or anything like that, because I participate myself in those, so I still expect to see those available to the general public, so to speak. So, more good news, especially for me, Theatre Mode, it's back, yay! Fantastic news for those who do montages, and for me it means booster videos and hacker expose videos, woohoo! Now one of the things I hate the most about Advanced Warfare is weapon variants and those goddamn annoying supply drops. Weapon variants in my mind brings unfairness into the game, you know, think of a bow, a Scythian steed, and if you're trying to shoot somebody and you've only got a bow, well, you're dead because they've got a more superior, overpowered weapon, god damn it. So it's just not sporting. Thankfully there's going to be no supply drops or weapon variants coming to Black Ops 3. Yay! Now people loved the ability in Black Ops 1 to customise their own emblems, and this continued into Black Ops 2, and now it continues into Black Ops 3 with a twist. Yes, now you can get to customise your gun camo via Gunsmith. Yep, think of the emblem editor but for guns, with 64 layers. And you can mix this paint job of your artistic creation in with existing camo too, so that's cool. And it also allows you to customise your weapon for optics and attachments. And we are used to just having like the 2 standard attachments plus an additional one via wildcard to give us a third if you want. But now we can go up to like 6 attachments. Total madness, perhaps. But I know I've wanted setups with 4 attachments, so I'm definitely looking forward to this. Of course, there's going to be the trade-off with the Pick 10 system, so you're going to have less perks available as you increase your attachments. And the Gunsmith feature is also available in Campaign 2, so yeah, that makes things interesting, especially for those who like to do Let's Plays or even Twitch and streaming stuff, because you can have your camo advertising your channel on the gun. So there's obviously no tweaking of weapon stats, everybody has access to the same weapons, it's just a case of which attachments you hook up on that gun, so fairness comes back into play. So I still expect there to be weapon combos that are prevalent, there's always going to be so in COD. Or will Black Ops 3 start to bring balance back to those guns, meaning it's fun to play with all guns and not just get melted with one particular setup. Oh well, we're going to have to wait and see on that one. The Pick 10 system, as I alluded to a moment ago, naturally returns with some tweaks, and this is totally separate to the specialist character features. Oh yes, there's 9 specialist classes, and this is where the cybernetics comes into play. Yes, each specialist class has its own power weapon and power ability. but you can only use one of them, and you have to choose which one before each match. For the specialist feature, there's going to be a charging up indicator, think Destiny, and it will take somewhere between 1 to 4 minutes to charge up. All I hope is that, we're not going to be having it charged up every 1 minute in complete chaos on the map. We'll have to wait and see how that one goes, but this should also allow noobs to get it always. 4 minutes down the line, they're going to get it, no matter how bad they are. So, from the reveal trailer, you would have seen a weapon coming out of a robot arm. This is just one example of a specialist ability. Or should I say, a weapon. Another ability is like teleporting back to your position 3 seconds ago. So it's similar to the Destiny teleport jump, but you go back in time, so to speak, to your position where you were 3 seconds ago. It's going to be useful for objective games like Capture the Flag. So, I'm thinking that the specialist classes are also like soldiers from Ghosts in a way. You've got the high level specialist ability, and then you've got class setups within that. And I wonder how prestiging will be. I cannot see them limiting it to 9 prestiges, as those who like to prestige as fast as possible won't have much of a challenge. Unless these characters have a higher level ranking, or even a more complex ranking up scheme. But I think we may even be able to have multiple versions of these characters, as you can customize them sort of RPG style with their abilities to some extent. Or do we have classes as we've always known, but we just pick the specialist character and ability at the start of each match? We'll just have to wait and see. It has been confirmed that score streaks reset on death. There's no more support streaks, so instead you have the specialist weapons and abilities, which don't reset on death. So it's a way of balancing out the gameplay experience for total noobs, so they get something, I guess, without ridiculously tipping the balance by earning streaks regardless of how many times they die. So there's no exosuit, yay! Instead we have the momentum system. This is where you got jetpacks, sliding, wall running, and an improved mantling system. So that's going to be interesting, the mantling system. It should make things a lot more fluid. We're told that the jetpacks are not the same as exosuits. This game does not have exosuits. So it's going to be more thrust based, and any of you guys who've played like a Lander or whatever it is with, I don't think the game was called Thrust. So as it's more thrust based, it's going to take time to get off the ground, so you can get to your maximum height in about 5 seconds. And you decide how much of the thrust you can use. And the thrust restocks once you land on the ground. I can see this particular ability, the jetpack, being used more tactically and a lot less often, as you're going to be an easier target to hit, because you're more slower moving. So there's going to be less or zero air dogfights, yeah. So another feature that's new to consoles is the field of view slider. PC gamers have generally always had access to this kind of thing, especially in Battlefield. Normally they would edit the text file that specifies the config for the field of view and just change it. It was available on Black Ops 2 for the PC, and now it's coming to the consoles on Black Ops 3. But will this feature be only for current gen? What we do know is that Black Ops 3 beta is for the current gen. Yes, that's right. No PS3 or Xbox 360 betas. And I can see this move being tactical from 2 points of view. The cynical point of view is, well, encourages gamers to go and buy a PS4 and Xbox One. And the software developer point of view is, focus testing your product on the current gen. You want to perfect it. Or you want to make it as good as it can be, without over-perfecting it. You could be there for years trying to perfect it to perfection. So what's happening with last gen? Well, I suspect a different studio will port it. This will allow Treyarch to focus on getting the game right. I can see this having a knock-on effect to the release date of last gen titles potentially. I can't see them dumping last gen at this point in time. There's just too much money to lose via lost sales at this point in time. I originally predicted in one of my videos that COD would switch to the current gen in the 3rd year. However, when they decide to drop it, it's going to be down to console ownership numbers. Or, if another COD uses such a groundbreaking feature, that old console could maybe just not hack it without destroying the game completely, and then they may consider making the switch. Zombies, of course, are naturally back, and they've also brought in a 4-player co-op campaign. I think the last time we saw that was in World of War, another Treyarch game. So one of the things I do like about Treyarch is that they do use a decent colour palette in their maps and soldier designs. Unlike Infinity Ward, who just use washed out palettes, where you cannot see soldiers and they blend in with blimmin' everything, You want to be able to see stuff easily. After all, COD is a Twitch shooter. Sound whoring is back, as indicated by the Dead Silence perk being back. Yay! Good news for us who have gaming headsets. But the toughness perk is no more. One uses this to stop flinching so your shots stay on target whilst you're being shot at. So, are they introducing a bit of realism into the game? Or will it come back in via like a weapon attachment perk, just like we had in Modern Warfare 3 with the kick attachment? So, Domination, it's got to be one of my favourite game modes. Treyarch introduced this 2-round system in Black Ops 2 and it continues in Black Ops 3. But now the second round there's no time limit, it's purely points based. This allows the losing team from the first round to fight their way back, rather than having no chance in hell of bringing it back. It's going to add some spice into that game mode, so it should be fun. The game comes out on Friday the 6th of November, and that means you don't necessarily have to take a day holiday, or a week even, to play the game. Now you can get home early on a Friday and play it over the weekend. Now what's interesting about this is that the Friday release date falls in line with how Sony released their exclusive titles. So, is DLC now going to become a PS4 exclusive? Big YouTubers who've got their hands on the multiplayer only played on PS4s, not on Xboxes like they normally do. And we do know that the PS4 has been confirmed to do 60 frames per second at 1080p, but we have absolutely zero stats for the Xbox One. And the true gamer in me would like to see everybody get the DLC at the same time. But game exclusivity can drive console sales, so it's pretty unlikely to happen. And there's a new aiming mechanic, so hopefully this will mean it's easier to transition from different gun types without having to adjust your sensitivities on your controller or mouse if you're on a PC. So in the old days when I played COD 4, I used to use the ACOG a lot, but as I improved I realised the red dot, well, it had a faster snapping sight, and so it was predominantly used. So the faster I could aim, the better chance of getting a kill before being killed. So if this new mechanic encourages gamers to use more sights because it's just so much more usable, this is surely good news because hey, you get to have more fun. And apparently, yes I say apparently, the spawns are meant to be better. Time will tell on that one, of course. There's going to be more multiplayer info at E3, which is about 6 weeks away. Yeah, that's middle of June. Cool. So, how well will multiplayer play? This is where the beta is going to come in for me big time. It's a big gamble for Activision and Treyarch, so they better be pretty confident that they've got an excellent product. We want zero lag and a great gaming experience. If the beta doesn't deliver, could it be the end for COD? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, I appreciate a like, and if you're not already subscribed, go and hit that subscribe button. Until next time, this has been Sim.